Check it out, guys. That's pretty cool. So it was just pouring. That said, I'm working on this. We got the gear on. We got the eccentric for the fuel pump on in the right orientation. There is the word rear on it. Okay. Not really sure what the difference is if you put it on backwards. See, either way the slots line up. And the reason I say that is the engine we're using right now was installed backwards. So, I don't know. To me it looks like it would just hold oil in there. But I'm not really sure what the reasoning is. Let's tighten the 30 foot-pounds and Loctite it. I got the oil slinger on. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, any oil that comes forward will hit this and sling out and not flood the front seal. I also got the dowels back in. Very, very, very important you get the dowels in. If you don't put those dowels in, the cover doesn't sit correctly. Even if it's off by a hair, and it won't put the correct pressure 360 degrees around that seal. So it'll be off in one direction. So it'll be pushing up on one end of the lip and the other end will be light, and you're gonna leak. And you'll change your seals and never figure out why. This one has one up here, one down there. So just working on the front cover. Junior epoxied it. It's hard to see. It's like a clearish yellow. This is the fixed shaft inside. We went through this whole pump, if you guys remember, way back when. But that's the fixed shaft that's pressed in this far. And oil still seeps up it and seeps out. So even this one had the epoxy on it that I removed. Junior put new epoxy on. Basically just going through the cover. A couple of little places to clean. And I gotta clean the gasket surfaces. But it is a nice cover. This is how you tell the date, 1985. And if you ever buy a cover and it doesn't have the date, then don't buy it. Because it's aftermarket. And that's a whole other conversation. So basically I'm going to finish cleaning this a little bit. I'm going to, I'd like to put the seal in, but I might wait till after it's painted. I'm not sure what color we're going to paint this. I'll leave it up to Junior. I don't know if he wants to do the front of the motor aluminum, because it is aluminum, rather than do it all blue like mine is. So, well, if he wants to break it up a little, no, the intake is not on. The sealer that you see on that intake hanging down is from the last guy. So, I'm putting the intake on after I prime this thing. See, I'm kind of like blessed. I go into the distributor hole, I activate the pump, I could see it coming up, and I could also watch it come out the holes in this gear before I put the fuel pump in or the fuel pump block off, and I could watch it come up into the valley. So then I'll bolt the intake on. So with that said, we talked about grease. The chain has no grease on it, but this gear has a very light coating of the cam pressure lubricant on it. That's a definite. That will not prevent the little bit of oil from coming to the hole. It's not packed in it. That's actually what they recommend doing. So with that said, I think that's about it. Rainbow's gone. Just a little tail end of it. They disappear quick. So with that said, we're moving forward. I couldn't paint anything tonight anyway because of the humidity. So I got to do this, and I got to get the pan to work. That's what I got to do. I want to get this motor buttoned up this weekend. What's coming up? That's a tricky one. Tomorrow night, which is Tuesday, I go out to the Hamptons. I won't be home till like midnight, so tomorrow night doesn't exist. For engine work at least. Wednesday, not sure what we're going to do out here Wednesday. Might be a mild night. So I gotta get up stupid early in the morning. I gotta go to school for 2 days. So that wastes the rest of the week. Saturday, we were supposed to go up to Windsor Locks, Connecticut, which is actually pretty close to Ruben's house. I think it's only like 15 minutes away, I think, if I remember correctly. But Ruben decided since I was coming, he was going down south. So I go up north, Ruben goes south. I go south, Ruben goes north. So no visiting Ruben, but we were supposed to go check out a regional AMC show, and I was going to hook up with that guy for the Fender, but I'm leaving it all up in the air at this point. I just might want to concentrate this weekend on a little bit of yard work and this engine. And Sunday's supposed to be a car show swap meet out at Riverhead Raceway, which is a circle track held by the people that are trying to get a drag strip back here on Long Island. So they're trying to get everybody there to show support. And I just can't waste the whole weekend or use up the whole weekend on other stuff. I gotta keep moving on this. I was hoping to be driving Junior's car by now and let the other wagon here lay a little bit, but and that's about it. That's all that's really going on here, guys. So all the bolts and everything are clean. This is part of the batch. These were all soaked and cleaned. You can see they're like bare metal. So this is that's a throttle bracket, and the other one there is some of the kickdown linkage and stuff like that, and there's other bolts and water pump shit and stuff like that. Like I said, the rest of the bolts should be cleaned. They've been soaking for like a month. So we'll pull those out, and I'll see what he wants to do. If he wants to do this aluminum. The only problem with doing this aluminum is if I do it aluminum, you can't do the water pump blue. That looks stupid. So then you got to do the water pump aluminum, but you can't do the bolts aluminum. You need something to break up in between. So then you start to paint the bolts, and when you go to put the bolts on the chip, and then it just becomes a big cluster. That's why most guys just paint everything one color, call it done, and slap some chrome shit on it. So it can be done. I've done it. But this is not a show car. This car is to be used, driven, taken apart, whatever has to happen to it. This is the test platform that this turned out not to be. So we might just do a blue and just leave the intake aluminum. Either way, I think we're getting a different set of valve covers. They just look like garbage, those other ones. You know what I mean? When for a couple of dollars you could just have some chrome ones on there or something. That'll set it off. I mean, it already has a chrome air cleaner, so. With that said, guys, I think that's it. I think I've dragged this video out as long as I could possibly drag it out. So, have to put the gears in here. We'll coat the gears. AMC's. You prime them from the side. Okay, that's where no, not that one. Things like this go. That's factory. So you screw it in the side, and you can run we're gonna run an idiot light. Or actually, we're not even probably gonna run an idiot light. I might tee it again, but we're gonna run the oil pressure switch for the fuel pump and the gauge. So I might just run the oil pressure switch here for the pump and tee it and run the gauge and the idiot light. I'd like to see the idiot light come on. And it's the only place to really grab any of this, and none of that affects pressure or anything like that.